I actually did wear it about 15 years ago, and it was a little ahead of its time then. But I've been inspired by the likes of Lee and Pippa, so it's back. One day I'll perform the suit, because it's got about 4 poems on it, including a poetry translation of the Can-Can, where we replace the repeated notes with rhymes instead. But I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm going to do 3 pieces. This first one is using Roald Dahl's made-up language, which he featured in various different books. I got hold of the Roald Dahl dictionary that was full of the made-up words, which is called Gobble Funk. Set myself the task, as we do, to write a poem all in Gobble Funk. So this is it. I cut my teeth on the BFG and passed Miss Honey's spelling bee. Now I've got more wit than the twits have nits, and I've Dahl's chickens guiding me. I sound absolutely wondercrump, chanting gloriumptious Gobble Funk. See, I'm tuned to a different bandwidth. I share a love of lick-swishy language, closer cut than a ham-tongue sandwich, with vocal partidos shootled from the hip lip. I speak fizz-whizzing Wiglish. But back when we was twiddly toddlers, terrified by big blood bottlers, stuck stock still with gogglers clocked on the telly bunkum box with muted electronic devices, we was quiet as mices until we discovered our noise of choice is our voices. We was a lawless chorus, first-class raucous, squawky talkers, not exactly what the textbooks taught us. We had an inkling, we was born twinkling. In our own winkles we was wopsy, whiffling. From inkstand to mic stand, we grew up in a country called Inkland. I never had to scrabble, bicker or battle. All I ever did was scribble, bibble and jabble. I was a snapper whipping kiddle, my scribbling didn't fibble, I said it straight, I'd never swizz-figgle. But a bunch of rambunctious trunchbulls got grub-slittingly grumptious at this rumpel-dumpus. Those blood-bottling bog rotters, those grisly old grunnians called me troublesome muggle-wump, a stupid and puny one. They was dog-swoggling, quad-swoggling, foulsome fizz-wigglers. But what did I know? I was just a squinky chiddler, and not muncher. Yes, I was a natterbox chat bag, a catastrophe disastrophe, but I gave myself a medal because I said it satisfactorily. I claimed it was impossible. I'd end up at the hospital with a rattle in my windpipe and a tongue around my tonsicles. What a lot of poppy rot, rommy top rub squash. If my buttons get pushed, I'm a human buzzbomb. My splendiferous lyrics will lixivate the critics. My piggery jokery is totally diddly. I'm not dumb silly, though I speak bizarre. It's those vermicious newlies whose language is gnarly. My rhymes are sweeter than all the chocolates of Charlie. For my grand finale, I speak superstarly. I'm a waxy word artist, truly, Dali. Cool. Thank you, Lee, for inviting me to do this gig, because it's pieces that I don't really perform that often, so it's quite nice to dig them out a little bit. And this piece is another ancient piece that I wrote back in the mid-90s about club culture. I think possibly Richard might be the only person in the room who may have heard this, because he was around in the 90s like me. We've outed us, so I've outed us. Sorry about that. So yeah, it's about that whole kind of like clubbing culture thing, and how people that are into that, they just want to maintain that high. They want to maintain that high, just keep it going, and whatever they do, not ever come down. And then one day you wake up and you suddenly find you're middle-aged and you come down. So it's not all about that. Shall I wear my tent? So it's called Lost in the Mix. In the house of love, nobody knows pain. Disco dollies popping disco biscuits, diamond geezers necking Yankees. In the house of love, nobody knows pain. The collective mind moves in rhythm. Cycle of life revolves round weekend. Louder, harder, faster, stronger. Coming up, trip, trip. The house of love is rammed, it's heaving. Off our faces, fucking flying. Beautiful people, chemical energy, up for it, big time, big time, big. In the house of love there is no Monday. Love is unconditional, strobe like romance. Love reverberates through the heart of the bass, freely available, large and smiley. In the house of love there is no Tuesday, no fear. Everything pucker, everything blinding, double top. Everything easy, love don't stop. Speed, Charlie, poppers and tabs. Speed, Charlie, poppers and tabs. Speed, Charlie, poppers and tabs. Speed, Charlie, pop, 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 pop. Tribal culture for the corporate clubbers. In the house of love there is no come down, is no burnout. Is no Wednesday, everything's mental, mental, mental. The sound system, system sound louder, harder, faster, stronger. Disco dollies and diamond geezers playing house without the mortgage, playing house without the heartache, playing house without foundation. Ketamine queens lost in the K-hole, ketamine queens lost in the K-hole, ketamine queens lost in the K-hole, ketamine queens lost, lost, lost. Nobody knows pain when we have no memory. Nobody knows pain when love is anonymous. Depression won't hit till Thursday when, Thursday when, Thursday when, Thursday, Thursday, Thursday. In the house of love there is no Thursday. Friday night the beat is kicking, bodies are popping to the big beat remix. Boom, boom, boom on a loop. Boom, boom, boom on a loop. Boom, boom, boom on a loop. Boom, boom, hardcore heaven. In the house of love nobody knows pain. The repetitive mind chasing the loop, the collective heart dropping out of baseline, lost in the mix. Lost in the mix, clubbing it, clubbing it, clubbing it, club, club, clubbing it, club, club, clubbing it, club, club, clubbing it, club, club. Body is detached from the brain. Brain is detached from the heart. Heart is detached from pain. I love you, lost in the mix. I love you, lost in the mix. Lost in the mix. Lost in the mix in the house of love. Lost in the mix in the house of love. Lost in the mix in the mix, mix, mix. Lost in the house of love. Nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows. Lost, 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 lost. So you gave me the excuse to do that, Lee. So thank you. First time I performed it in about 15 years. Always worth the effort as well, I think. People say, why do we learn our lines? Those of us that do. And that's kind of the reason, really, why we learn our lines. Because if you don't learn your lines, you don't get to enjoy doing it. This one, however, it's probably learned. But experience has taught me that when you think something is probably learned, so I'm not going to risk it. There's a thing, I don't know if anyone else has this, I used to, when I wasn't so experienced, if I thought I had a poem learned, but I wasn't like 100% certain, I'd make sure I had it with me and I put it in my back pocket. But then, all the way through doing the poem, all I can think is the poem in the back pocket, poem in the back pocket, and it makes me forget my lines. So the only way I guarantee I don't forget my lines is not to bring the poems with me, to just go with no wire under the net. But I brought this with me, this is why. Anyway, yes, Lambeth Walk, I was the poet in residence for Spread the Word at Lambeth Walk. A few years ago, we made this beautiful book, an anthology of different kinds of writing, plays, a novella, haiku, and this, a guide to cockney rhyming slang, which has some similarity to Julie's poem there. Thank you, Julie. I wanted to try and write a story that would give us a guide to cockney rhyming slang. So this is it. Had a bull and cow with my trouble and strife. A blazing row with my beautiful wife. Of Punch and Judy, she ruined the old Brinner, got all moody and burnt me dinner. So I put the dustbin lids to Uncle Ted, sent me kids up to bed, took a Duke of York down the Frog and Toad, went for a walk straight down the road for a tiddlywink in the rubber dub. A little drink down the local pub. I get me pig's ear and me linen scraper, grab myself a beer and read me paper, but I spot a fridge freezer who's barely rubble. See this geezer who looks like trouble. He's got mince pies like a Bengal lancer. I can tell by his eyes he's a total chancer. His whistle and flute's a bit Westminster Abbey. He's wearing a suit, worn out and shabby. There's a big Jack Doyle and his Gregory Peck, horrible boil, going on his neck. He's a babbling brook, behind with the rent, a common crook, completely bent. He goes to half-inch my bangers and mash, tries to pinch my hard-earned cash from the weasel and stoke on the Cain and Abel, the overcoat I left on the table. So I grab his Peckham Rye and smash his Bexley Heath. Grab his eye, break his teeth, go chicken oriental, give him Omar Sharif, go a bit mental, give him grief. When he's lemon squashed a bit of Roy Hood, when he's lemon squashed a bit of Roy Hood, gone and washed off all the blood, I have a bunch of look, can't Adam and Eve it, take a look, I can't believe it. I'm a bit Pete Tong, he's no Glasgow Ranger, I got it wrong. He's no stranger, he's a china plate from the Daft and Barmy, an old mate I knew in the army. When he had a rubber glove for my skin and blister, fell in love with my little sister. He gave tomfoolery and bunches of flowers, gifts of jewellery, I got that one wrong. He gave tomfoolery and April showers, gifts of jewellery and bunches of flowers. And his awesome cart, and that's brass tacks. He gave her his heart, and that's the facts. But a Derry and Tom left him half brown bread. A bloody bomb left him nearly dead. Without a weaver's chair, it was Richard Burton's. He hadn't a prayer. Should have been curtains. But he burst his ham and eggs, was raspberry rippled, he broke his legs, left him crippled. Now I'm cash and carried, and he's Pat Malone. I got married, and he's on his own. I say it's donkey's ears, drop your fife and drum. It must be years, why not patch your bum? Don't be Moby Dick, have a dicky bird. Don't look so sick, let's have a word. You're a tea leaf, cause you're Barassi Clint. Only a thief, cause you're totally skint. Without a Brussels sprout, you need a cheesy quaver. Without a doubt, you need a favour. No bottle and stopper, no bucket and pail. I won't call no copper or you'll go to jail. I won't inky smudge, but I will Donald Duck. I won't judge you, I'll just wish you luck. Be an artful dodger, at our cat and mouse. Be a lodger, stay at the house. So we choose a fat, have a hat and scarf, have a bit of a laugh and proper chat. The rabbit and pork is lemon squeezy, enjoying the talk is totally easy, with a beer of Lynn and a pocket watch, shot of gin and a drop of scotch. We take an oxo cube for a Ruby Murray, hop on a tube to go for a curry, take a jet fighter to Santa's grotto, do an all-nighter, get totally locked up.